Have I told you lately how much I love researching makeup news? Every week I learn something new and it is absolutely fascinating. So for this week, my big moments was learning about Huda Beauty and Huda Katan. And I learned this through a video that Huda put up on her YouTube channel this week where she was talking about being a CEO of her own namesake brand, why she stepped down, and why she is now CEO of Huda Beauty once more. And in that video, I mean, it wasn't even that long of a video, but I felt like I got so much insight into her life and what the journey has been like for her. I have all the details on what she said in that video, and the most important thing maybe to beauty consumers is what's going to happen to Huda Beauty. So we'll get to that in just a minute. And we also have an update on the Tati list. Tati has launched her first activation, is what she's calling it, on the Tati list. I have all of the details of what went down with that, what was the activation, and how did it benefit some people that were on the Tati list. In legal news, we have the update on the Family Dollar and the disgusting warehouse. The fine that they need to pay is absolutely massive. I have all the details on that for you. And then our last story, our feel-good story, has to do with Dove and how they are trying to educate Sephora Kids. The kids who are, maybe 8, 9, 10, 11, trying to start these elaborate skincare routines. They've started a new initiative to try to help educate parents and kids. I have all the details on that as well. So hang tight. We are about to jump into it right now. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to What's Up in Makeup, where we talk about everything that is happening across the beauty news, beauty industry space, all in one place. And I have lots to share with you this week. Top story this week has to do with Huda Beauty and Huda Katan, who started, of course, Huda Beauty. I had someone tell me yesterday, and it was kind of an odd thing, that everything I touch turns to gold. And I thought about that for a minute. First of all, I was wondering, why do you think that? And the second thing I was thinking is I know she meant it as a compliment, 100% meant it as a compliment, but it kind of negates all of the hard work that it takes to do the things that are successful. And honestly, I doubt that statement, everything a person touches turns to gold, is accurate for any human being on the planet, because I really do feel like it's the work that the person puts in that turns something to gold. It's making the right choices. It's about going on the right paths and the right directions that turn things to gold. It's not just touching it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that really relates very heavily to the way that I've kind of felt about Huda Beauty, because it seemed like, Huda Katan, very popular internationally. She's gorgeous. She's funny. She's just well loved by so many people. When she started a beauty brand, I was kind of like, well, of course it's going to do well. She has so many fans all over the place. Of course, everything she touches turns to gold. But what Huda showed me through her video this week is that really it's all about risk and the risks that she was taking, choosing between this path and that path that has kind of shaped and molded Huda Beauty as a brand. And always that question, when you choose a path, am I making a mistake? Is this the wrong path? Because you really don't know sometimes. So this video that Huda put out, it was all about a big mistake that she made that could have ruined her brand. I'm going to go ahead and play a clip for you about why she stepped down as CEO.
In 2020, I came onto YouTube. I posted a video sharing with you guys that I was stepping down as CEO, and it was supposed to be a really inspiring, powerful moment. But in reality, I think I was lying to myself, and I didn't realize it then. And it took me a long time to realize that. I had received advice from a lot of really incredible people around me, and they weren't necessarily wrong with the advice, but they shared with me that you don't know what you're doing running a business, and you need to get some real people here in order to really get the business to go from like where it is right now to the place that you envision it going. And they were definitely right about that. I needed to get some experts in place, but I think maybe some of that guidance was pushing me too far down one way And I did end up bringing in amazing people, but I also ended up not doing some of the things that were so important to me. If I look at the things that are important to me in the business, I would develop products and make content for the rest of my life for free. I did it for a long part of my life for free, and I would still do it for the rest of my life for free. I would pay money to do it. It's a part of my creative process. It brings me so much joy. And I let go of those things that were really, really important to me. I'm just gonna be really real with you guys. It has been one of the biggest regrets of my life because I didn't listen to myself. I felt at the moment that it was wrong, but I felt that I didn't know better and that I should listen to people outside. Even though the voices in my head said, trust yourself, listen to yourself, I shut them down. I was like, no, don't listen to yourself. Actually, listen to the people around you, which is crazy to me now because listening to myself is what helped me build my business. Listening to myself is what helped me do so many things that people told me at the time were impossible.
Now Huda is taking her power back and is now reinstated as CEO. She says in the video she's been CEO for a little while. She's just announcing it now. What's so interesting to me is that as part of this change, she's going through an entire rebrand. They're redoing the logo, they're redoing the packaging, and also they're discontinuing the entire Glowish line, which was like the makeup infused skincare kinds of stuff. And she also said that some of the other Huda Beauty staples are going to go away. And the thing is, I've been loosely following Huda Beauty for many, many years, and I've never seen her go on camera and be vulnerable like this. She could have done it in the past and I just missed it, but I had never seen this. And I personally really appreciated that. I appreciated how much bravery it took for her to be like, you know what? I made a mistake. I learned through my mistake. It wasn't the worst thing ever. I ended up, it was fine, but now I need to choose a different path for me and a different path for my brand. And it's so easy as a consumer to just sit back and think, everything came easy to that person. We're not seeing so much that is going on behind the scenes. So this was just a really nice refresher for me personally. I don't know if it was for you, but a refresher for me to just understand that there's so much going on behind the scenes that we just don't know about. All of those small decisions that lead up to either the success or the failure of a brand. So my question to you, my friend, is what do you think about the Huda Beauty rebrand? What are you thinking? Where do you think she's going to go with it? I would love to know any of your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Whenever there's something new in the beauty space, I feel like there's always strong hesitation. Even if that thing has been done in other niches and in other spaces for a very long time, email lists are popular everywhere. They're popular in stores. They're popular with any brand that you are purchasing from, whether it is airline tickets or whether it is a new pair of shoes or whatever it is. Everybody's trying to sign you up for their email list. And influencers, especially ones that have products to sell, have all been for many years setting up email lists, but we haven't really seen that in the beauty space. And I do feel like that we are a little hesitant of things that are new in our space because we've been ripped off so many times, we've been tricked, we've been lied to, so we're a little hesitant to share personal information, things like our email address, our mailing address, our telephone numbers, our full names, things like that. We're just a little hesitant. So when Tati Westbrook said she was starting the Tati list, people were a little skeptical. They were a little afraid of it. Because the question was, what is she going to use this for? Is she going to use this information for nefarious reasons? What is the purpose of this? And we found out this past week one of the purposes of the Tati list, and that was because she did a big giveaway. Tati partnered up with Ilios Lighting to give away 100 of their lighted compact mirrors. These particular mirrors were in a limited edition black color. They have a retail value of $50. There's video footage of Tati taking the mirrors and packing boxes all on her own. She wrote a handwritten note for each person, and people that were on the Tati list didn't have to do anything in order to win. What she did was she sent a text message to the winners and said, hey, you've won, you have a package coming. The person who won didn't have to do anything because Tati already had their phone number to text them to let them know they won, and also their mailing address. If you've never heard of Ilios, many years ago when they first launched, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 4 years ago, when Ilios launched with the endorsement of Makeup by Mario, they sent me over a mirror, and I literally use it every single time that I'm getting ready. I used to have some other makeup mirrors. I can't even remember what they were, but I had other makeup mirrors, and this one is so much freaking better. I don't have it plugged in right now, but it does have multiple settings for brightness. It's got a cool, a blend, and a warm toned light that you can do. You can also flip this to magnification if you want to. And the mirror actually also comes out. And then on the back, you have this little swingy thing, and this swingy thing holds your cell phone. So you can also use this as a ring light if you are filming something on your phone, which is really cool. And the lighting is freaking beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So when I saw Tati was collaborating with this particular company, I was like, yes, that's actually a really, really good product. And also, beyond the 100 of the mirrors that they sent out, they also gave Tati's viewers 30% off of anything on the site. I will put the code on the screen now. I think it's Tati List 30, and it's only for a week from when Tati's video went live, so it's not lasting that much longer. I went over and went to check it out, and all of the little compact mirrors are sold out. They do have them on pre-order. The wall mirror is also sold out, but this mirror, the one that I have been using for years, this one is not sold out. So if you were interested in that, you can use Tati's code in order to purchase this if you are looking for a really good, high quality, pretty expensive makeup mirror. But the thing about them being sold out is this now encourages other companies to work with Tati and the Tati List to do more giveaways like this. It gives brands a financial return on investment angle to then do giveaways with Tati. So people being on the Tati List may benefit from even more giveaways due to the purchases that are happening afterward. And another fun fact about this, Tati said there's going to be another giveaway next week, which is really, really cool. Of course, she said that this is not just the only thing that Tati List is about. It's not just about giveaways, that there's going to be a lot more. She didn't get specific on what more, but that there is going to be a lot more. I have so many questions for you today in this show, and the one that I have for you about this is, does an influencer email list make you give you the icks? Does it make you feel like that's not something that I want to do? Or are you like, well, I give my information to this person and that person and this brand and that brand, so what's the difference? I don't know. I would love to know your thoughts. Is it a trust-based thing? If you trust Tati, don't trust Tati. Just any and all thoughts about the story, I would love to know in the comment section down below. In business news this week, we have The Body Shop coming back. And the reason why I'm bringing this back is because there's a new twist in the story. You know, we've been covering that The Body Shop isn't doing well, that they're closing down a bunch of UK stores. This past week, we found out that The Body Shop in Denmark has filed for bankruptcy with 15 stores to close, affecting 90 roles at the company. But maybe things aren't what they seem over there. I don't know. I am not familiar with UK business policies and different rules and laws and things like that. So if you are in the UK and you are familiar with this in any way, even if you're not in the UK, I would love to know more about this, because I'm actually a little bit like, what? Is this real? I don't know. So as of last week, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, The Body Shop is doing really poorly, obviously. But there is a twist here, because the former CEO of The Body Shop, his name is David Boynton, he put a post up on LinkedIn basically saying that The Body Shop is absolutely fine, that it's not having a problem. So it's like, well, if it's not having a problem, why are they closing stores? This is what David said. He said that they are not a failing brand. The process they are going through is, quote, legal and opportunistic. Article in Cosmetic Business suggests that David believes the move is more about using a legal loophole to make taxpayers, landlords, and smaller suppliers pay for the company's restructuring. The strategy, he claims, would benefit the owners significantly in the long run. So because he's the former CEO, is he like putting out the tea and airing out the dirty laundry, basically saying that the Body Shop is manipulating the system in order to not pay for their rebrand? Most of the money that is being pushed off on taxpayers has to do with layoffs. He said that the Body Shop in the UK will be covered by the government through the Redundancy Payment Service, which is, of course, funded by taxpayers. And when they lay people off, they're not eating those costs, but taxpayers will pay them benefits because they were laid off. He was very, very strong in this point that the UK branch of the Body Shop is not struggling, and it's expected to continue operating and has been making a profit, with most of its stores in the country being profitable. He points out that the losses often mentioned in the media, the ones that we've been reporting on here in What's Up in Makeup, are related to the global operations of the Body Shop, not the UK business. David did leave his job as CEO back in April of last year under what they call unspecified circumstances. He was in the job for 5 years prior to that. Because the thing is if this were the best way to run a business, wouldn't other businesses be doing this as well and exploiting this loophole as well? Why is the Body Shop the only one that seems to be doing it? Or am I just not clued in because I don't follow UK business that closely? Maybe other businesses are doing this. And if they're exploiting this loophole, is this on the edge of fraud? Like, will the UK government call them out on this? Another thing that's related to the Body Shop, just to keep an eye on, is that fashion retailer Next is reportedly interested in buying the brand from the current owner, which is the Aurealis Group, and that is per Sky News. But I feel like this is some tea he just spilled. If I'm connecting the dots and reading between the lines properly, what I'm seeing here is that maybe this guy David is a little upset about not working there anymore and is basically like, you know what, it's not my fault that the Body Shop is doing bad, and actually the Body Shop did fine under my leadership. We're still growing, we're still doing great, but what's happening is now that I left, now the people that are in charge are doing shady business and they're making it look like I did a bad job when I didn't actually do a bad job. Like, maybe that's the angle. I don't know. Either way, I am going to keep my eye on this. And if I see any advancements in the story, I will 100% let you know. Another brand that has been on the decline that we've been keeping our eye on is Olaplex. So if you remember, back in October, their CEO, Jui Wong, she stepped down from her position as the CEO and she was replaced by the Supergroup CEO. Her name is Amanda Baldwin. That happened back in December. Don't get me wrong, Olaplex is still bringing in a lot of money. The net sales last year in 2023 were $458 million, but this was a decrease, a significant decrease of about 35% compared to 2022. And I talked to my hairstylist about this the last time that I was in, and she told me that, you know, she was never really the biggest fan of Olaplex, but it was kind of the only product on the market for a little while, and it was just the one that they had, so that was what she was using. But now there are so many alternatives, both in the salon space and also in the retail space, that work better or just as good for the same or less of a price. So because she wasn't married to Olaplex, she had no problem going over and using some of the products from, let's say, Redken. Now, Amanda, the new CEO, said something similar on an earnings call. She blamed the downturn of the business on growing too quickly and then also suffering from execution errors and, quote, not appropriately investing in the resources needed to best support the professional stylist community, which is exactly what my stylist had said. And the other thing my stylist said, she also said, which was that they didn't prepare for the realities of increased competition. So it sounds like Olaplex is trying to develop and maintain relationships with salons, that is their number one priority, is to get those people in the salons using the products and then promoting them for sale to consumers. They also want to attend more in-person trade shows to talk about the product with professionals. She said they're creating new educational tools for the stylists, and then also they plan on upgrading their displays and putting a limit on new retail partnerships, because what they were finding was that Olaplex was being sold on like the Walmart marketplace and it was cheapening the brand, or it was being sold on Amazon and it was cheapening the brand, where if a product is only sold in salons or only sold at Sephora and salons, it gives the consumer kind of an upgraded, like a bougie feel. It gives you a bougie feel. But if you see it on Amazon or you see it in the Walmart marketplace, it's like, oh, this stuff isn't that special. Why is it so expensive? And it's all about the perception. So they want to change that as well. Once again, I will keep my eye on it. And if anything changes, I'll let you know. And in legal news this week, took 2 shots this time. 2 shots, but we got it. In legal news this week, we have a Family Dollar update. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you're new here and you don't know this Family Dollar story, it's gross. And I'm just warning you ahead of time, it has to do with dead rodents. So if you don't like it, timestamp is here if you want to skip ahead and not hear about the dead rodents. So basically what happened is there was this warehouse, right? And it's in Arkansas. It's a Family Dollar warehouse. And the warehouse was infested with rodents, with dead rodents, with live rodents, with dead birds. And they're living their best life. Like the rodents are living their best life in this warehouse. So they're doing all the things that living things do in the warehouse. They are eating things they're probably not supposed to eat, like the food that's being shipped to the stores. They are pooping and they're peeing, and it is absolutely disgusting in this warehouse. So the FDA had gotten notification that there was something going on in this warehouse. They finally went in and they checked it out. They found all the stuff and they were disgusted. They shut down the warehouse. They ended up putting out a notice to all of the stores that they had shipped the product to, that those stores had to close temporarily to make sure that the products inside the stores were safe. If you're not familiar with Family Dollar, they're owned by Dollar Tree. It is a store that kind of extends on the Dollar Tree mentality. Not everything's a dollar, but they sell food, they sell cosmetics, they sell household goods, they sell, shampoo and, if anything from lipstick to a broom, like anything that you want at a discounted price. Beyond the shutting down of the warehouse and temporarily closing the stores, they also did a voluntary recall of any products that were purchased at any of their stores from 2021 until the warehouse was shut down in 2022. That's a lot of stuff that could have potentially been hazardous that people had already consumed or used and had now thrown away. And here's the legal news. This is what happened this week. So Dollar Tree, who owns Family Dollar, they were brought up on charges for one misdemeanor count of causing FDA-regulated products to become adulterated while being held under unsanitary conditions. This is what happened. The Department of Justice has handed down the largest ever monetary criminal penalty in a food safety case, $41.7 million. Oh my gosh, they deserved all of that, in my opinion, and maybe even more. Under the plea agreement, the Family Dollar admitted that they, quote, had begun receiving more reports of mouse and pest issues with deliveries from the warehouse in August of 2020, and they didn't get shut down until 2022. Oh my gosh. They said that even stores were getting boxes of product with like rodent damage and also rodents in the boxes. They didn't say if the rodents were alive or dead, but they were in the box. Can you imagine being a worker and opening up a box and... No, thank you. Oh my gosh. And the Family Dollar knew it. And they knew it. The Dollar Tree knew it. And they still didn't do anything about it. That's what really is the worst, I think, for me, is they found out about it and did absolutely nothing, knowing that they were putting customers in danger of having contaminated products. The Family Dollar did say in October that it planned to demolish the old facility and open a, quote, best-in-class distribution center on the same site in West Memphis by fall of 2024. So, my gosh. It just makes me sad. It makes me sick. And I'm so upset about this story. But it looks like they've learned a very hard lesson, and hopefully they will do better in the future. Hopefully. And in super frustrating, but I'm glad we have laws to protect people news today, we have a beauty manufacturing company in Illinois. It is called Voyant Beauty. They fired a worker on her first day of the job because they found out that she was deaf. This is according to a disability discrimination lawsuit filed by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC. She was placed by a staffing agency as a production worker at the manufacturer's Illinois production facility. And according to the lawsuit, on her first day, quote, Voyant learned that she was deaf and informed her that because she's deaf, Voyant was ending her employment there. And the EEOC said, and this is very, very important in their press release, that the worker was 100% qualified for the job and could have performed the essential functions of the job even being deaf. The law alleges that by firing the worker, Voyant violated the Americans with Disabilities Act, which requires requires employers to make reasonable accommodations for disabilities. And the key there is reasonable accommodations. They didn't go into specifics in the article, but they did say that Voyant denies the allegations. The suit was filed in September, but it was settled this past Tuesday, and this is what happened. As part of the settlement, Voyant agreed to pay the former workers $75,000, made up of $30,000 in back pay and $45,000 in compensatory damages. Voyant also agreed to provide annual training to all supervising staff on disability and discrimination. Voyant did tell Business Insider in a statement, quote, "While the company denies any wrongdoing, the settlement reinforces our dedication to a people-first culture that protects and values all employees and applicants." To clarify their position, EEOC's lawyer handling the case stated, quote, "A decision not to hire someone with a disability based on a safety concern must be based on an individualized assessment of the person's actual ability to safely perform the essential functions of the job, potentially with accommodation." So that's how that works. If you can prove that the person cannot safely perform the job, of course they can't work there if they can't be safe. But if you can put some very easy, simple things into place to make sure that everything is going to be fine, then you have to do that. You can't just fire someone because they have a disability. And as a former special education teacher, I am very, very thankful that laws like this exist. And our feel-good story of the week kind of builds on a story we did last week with The Ordinary and The Ordinary's post on their Instagram trying to educate what we're now calling Sephora Kids, or kids that are, 8, 9, 10 years old going into Sephora asking for adult skincare routines and not understanding why they end up having all this irritation on their faces. And in some cases, like we talked about again last week, the parents are upset with the brands for not educating people about that these skincare products are not appropriate for children. So Dove is now jumping into this. Dove, of course, very active in the Crown Act, fighting for hair equality. So it doesn't surprise me that this particular company is jumping into this discussion. The article that Dove put on their website is going to be linked in the description box down below with, of course, all of the other resources for this show. But in that, they do have the research for the statistics that I'm about to read. So if you're curious, they are going to be down below. So according to the brand, if kids are using skincare specifically for anti-aging, it can breed premature anxiety, which can negatively impact their self-esteem now and also in the future. They also say, quote, "Per experts, nearly 1 in 2 young girls aged 10 to 17 expect to worry more about their appearance as they age, and that 1 in 3 young girls are expected to have cosmetic work or plastic surgery to alter their appearance as they age." Firdaus El-Hansali, she is the global vice president of Dove. She said in a press release, quote, "When did 10-year-olds start worrying about wrinkles and getting older? It is time to speak up to highlight the absurdity and protect their self-esteem." Dove did create a TikTok that is pinned to their page on TikTok that's education for parents and kids about appropriate skincare routines for young kids. It is called the Gen A Anti-Aging Talk. Here's a little clip.
Our skin aging is part of a natural human process, and it's important to understand the difference between anti-aging products and skincare. Tip number 1, avoid anti-aging ingredients on young skin. Anti-aging products are designed to prevent the appearance of getting older and not appropriate for young skin.
Help your child to focus on all of the amazing things that their skin does rather than how it looks. Focusing on the functionality of our bodies and appreciating that is a key strategy to building body confidence. And remember to allow your child to have fun with this and to express their true selves. If you want more tools and tips on how to support your child with body confidence and self-esteem, head over to dove.com.
One thing I really liked that I hadn't really thought of in this way before I saw this was about educating kids about the science behind how skin works and how amazing our bodies are, the things that it can do. And I think just educating kids on the basics of skin structure in collagen and elastin and the fact that those proteins that they have in their skin are working beautifully. Everything is working really well. And the purpose of the skincare product is to help the skin as we get older to act like their skin does naturally. As we get older, our bodies don't produce as much collagen and elastin, which is what leads to wrinkles, but their bodies are already doing it. That's why they don't need the stuff. And as far as exfoliating products that a lot of these kids are hurting their skin with, that is specifically because older skin does not shed skin as fast as younger skin. So we need help for our skin to do the thing that their skin is already doing. Just telling kids like, hey, the reason why we're using these products is because we want our skin to look like your skin. We want our skin to keep doing the things that your skin is already doing. I think that's a really smart angle. It is fantastic that Dove is providing these resources for parents and kids, but I think what's missing here is somebody presenting that message that they can relate to. I feel like the audience is more parents. So I would love to see, not that they have an obligation to, but I would love to see Dove create marketing and messages that specifically are made for 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, get some teenagers in there, get some influencers in there to explain these things. I feel like Dove has the ability to create these kinds of materials, and I hope that they choose to. And that, my friend, was What's Up in Makeup this week. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, thank you as always to the What's Up in Makeup Facebook hunters. Their names are scrolling below me. Thank you so much for all of your submissions this week. As always, I appreciate you so much. Our live chat today is going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be hanging out, talking about makeup. Hopefully you can join us. If you can, great. If you can't, it is very easy to find on the replay. If you're subscribed, it should just be in your subscription feed. So that's a reminder. If you're not subscribed, just subscribe real quick and then it'll already be there. If you don't want to subscribe, you have to take a couple of extra steps. You're just going to go to my channel page, click on the live tab. They're all housed there. Or down below, there is a podcast version. It is the What's Up in Makeup live chat podcast. You can go ahead and click there and it has all of the live chats that we've done since the beginning of 2023. But if you would like to hang out just a little bit longer, especially if you missed last week's episode, YouTube should be recommending a couple of videos for you over here to watch. Last week's episode's going to be there. YouTube's going to pick the top one for you based on videos you've been watching recently and one that they think that you're going to like. That's there. But if you do need to go because you got stuff going on, it is no problem at all. Thank you for hanging out as long as you did, and love to you, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.